What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the single player Let's Play series. Now, in this beautiful episode of the single player Let's Play series, I want to get some cool auto crafting done in a large scale, just like before, or at least relatively large scale. It'll at least be fast. So, we have automatic induction smelting still left on our list, and we'll get to that, I promise. But there's another thing on my list. So, today, I wanted to look into making some better piping because we've got that Ender IO conduit going all through our house, which is just fine, but there's actually some pretty ridiculous tiers of piping that I've not even gotten into because we just recently got them in this version of Minecraft in the first place. So, one of these versions is Thermal Expansion's own, well, I guess it's now Thermodynamics. So Thermodynamics now has a lot of really cool things. Well, okay, that's not to say now. Guess technically it always has. But it has conduits which can transfer RF, item, fluids, and they've got a lot of really neat features. So I'd like to get started just by auto-crafting some of these recipes and just having a few things ready. So we'll steal these patterns. And in fact, I can put this in our sorting system. I no longer need a bed. I disable sleeping bags in V-Tweaks, and a lot of people may or may not even notice. Alright, so I am already making fused quartz, correct? Correct. And electrum I'm already getting, so we can go ahead and get ourselves these redstone energy flux ducts. That works for me. Now, we can also get resonant flux ducts, and the problem that I'm already foreseeing here is I really would like to get Enderium automated today, and I'm not really sure how we're gonna handle that because it's not easy to make. We can get our Enderium blend, and once we get it, we'll have to smelt it in an induction smelter. That by itself is already kind of inconvenient, but if we look even further into it, we're going to also need this jumbled mess of items. So I don't know whether or not we should work on automating this first and then come back to the conduits. I think we should. So why don't we do that then? So we can start off. I should already have a thermal expansion page. Yep. So we can just go ahead and put this, I guess, down here. That works for me. We can just do, actually, I want this. So this will be empty stuff, and then this will be an entire line for conduits, and, or rather ducts, as well as these, we'll make some of the servos and retrievers here in a little while. But definitely want to get the ducts down. And so if we take a look, I'm a little bit concerned about Enderium. Now, before you go and say it, I know this recipe exists. I am perfectly capable of crafting it, and I would if I wanted to. Fun fact, I don't want to. I want to do it the stock thermal expansion method, which actually no longer requires blazing pyrotheum. That's odd. That's what it used to require, I thought, because you can tell by this recipe that it did at one point. It's actually kind of a balancing factor there. Interesting. But what we need is pulverized platinum. Do I even have any platinum? Wow. Well, that's a resource that I have not been getting. That's not good. Well, I guess that entire thought process is kind of a bit on a hold. So I guess what we can do then is take a look at ways of getting Enderium. Now, this guy is on, so that's why we're drawing so much power, right? But we've been trying to get ores for a little while. I haven't really had any luck with that. So how about this in our multi-stage plan? I'm gonna do this. Let's get some signs. I still have some. And let's head over to the Runic Arsenal and update some of these to-do lists. We're gonna get rid of this one. I don't think we're gonna ever do this one. We don't really need it at this point. Why would we need a tree cutting spell? We have automatic tree farming, right? So instead, let's replace this with create a deep dark portal. I want to go to the deep dark, and I want to quarry in it. And let's see. still have a few things that we haven't done yet. I can get rid of this one because I'm moving it. So, we want to explore the deep dark. We want to quarry in the deep dark. We want to automate Enderium. We want to automate conduits. We also want to automate other fluid recipes. And then I still wouldn't mind visit, conquer, ocean monument, definitely. And what was the other one? There's two more. Brain already farted. Yeah, agricraft crops. And then vanilla-esque guardian farm. And that way we can just break these. Perfect. So now we have an idea of what all we should be doing now, because this gives us a few episodes worth of stuff to do. So let's take a look at the Deep Dark Portal. This is actually a recipe that I've changed myself because I really feel like it deserves to be changed. This recipe is too easy, if you ask me, normally. I took a look at it at one point, and I literally giggled because they used to make it hard, and the new one is not nearly as hard, and the one before it was still not that great. So, what we can do is we can start teaching our system a few things. First of all, how much cobblestone do I have? I do not have nearly that much cobblestone, so we're gonna have to get started with something along these lines. Now, our options are either we can just kind of let that go and see where we get to, because each one of these is going to take a lot of cobble, and keep in mind that it is not going to be a quick process crafting all of this because we don't have enough. Because that is how many different recipes it requires to get that far. So we can go and put these in here. But like I said, I guarantee you we don't have enough cobble. If I go and request this right now, which I'm just gonna see if it'll let me. If I go to compressed, octuple compressed, start, it has to do a lot of math to figure that out. And then once it has, it ain't gonna be pretty. So we can do one of many things. Wow, this entire episode has taken some very drastic turns all over the place, hasn't it? We started with, hey, let's just do automatic recipes for this, and here we are at, well, how can we automate compressed cobble? So I guess we should start that with, how can we improve our compressed cobble recipes? Well, we can start with, let's see, compacting drawers. I should have taught these. I can't believe I haven't. Compacting drawers. I should have everything for that, because you know how to make drawers. I can't believe I haven't taught that. That's such an important recipe that I somehow managed to forget. Make me 4 of these. And then get me some transfer nodes. I'm going to need a few. And I'm curious, oh boy, we are going to need a lot of gold for this. This is going to be probably, we'll start with a stack of upgrades. I don't think that's going to be enough even, but we'll start there. And we're just going to throw these into this machine for some speed upgrades. We're going to want speed upgrades and cobble upgrades, and so yeah, I'm just going to let this run for a bit and I'll be back when I'm done. So I just did some testing in a single player world, and boy, do I wish it was just what I thought it was going to require, but it's not. So we're going to need another, let's see, so if we take, we need another stack of these. But then, after this other stack, we're also still gonna need 19 more. So, I've come up with a design. It involves a lot of transfer nodes and a lot of craziness. But the way it works is, let me think, it's gonna require 7 of the mining upgrades. So upgrade mining is just some golden pickaxes. I can't remember if shift clicking ends up in a bad time or not, so I'm just not going to risk it. We'll go and get these. So there we go. 7 mining upgrades. We're going to need 7 transfer nodes for the main set. And essentially, it's going to be pretty bananas, actually, when this is all said and done. So we're also going to need these speed upgrades, which are not cheap. Fortunately, they're not expensive, but they're definitely not cheap. So the speed upgrades, I'm just going to craft these manually. I don't use these a lot, and they're not that hard to craft. So we can start with 38. We're obviously going to need more than that later down the road, but hey, it's fine. So I need to get some lava, and I also need to get some water. And I also need to figure out where I'm going to set this up, because this is going to be quite the setup. Oh, I just now noticed that one of my fishing nets got exploded. Oh well. So, taking a look, you know, I can't remember. Did I ever make automatic lava with blood magic? I think I did at one point, but I don't remember. I really don't. We could set this up pretty much anywhere because it doesn't actually matter. We're not going to be storing this in the ME network or RS network. So why don't we put this somewhere that seems empty down here? This area seems a little bit empty now. So what if we used this area right here? Maybe not. Maybe, actually. We could make that work if we just rerouted that cable. Are we able to reroute that cable? We should be able to reroute that cable. So let me just get some more cable from the RS network real quick. And yes, I do have infinite lava. It's right there. Yes, cables. I was looking for the wireless grid. So we should be able to just kind of do something like this. If I can just move this down a block, that would probably be the most convenient. I just don't want to lose this connection either, or else I would just break it and put them down again, but I'd like to keep the connection active the entire time while I'm moving. So this is an option that you can do if you're ever thinking of how can I do that. Keeps stuff from triggering when it shouldn't, or just general bad things, if that's kind of the gist of your build like it is mine. So don't worry, I'll put these back, but this is perfectly temporary. It'll be just fine. So the idea is that, in fact, how are we going to do this? Maybe this isn't the best place to put this. I'm not certain, actually. I'm beginning to question myself a bit. Because the layout I've come up with is 3 by 3, and there's the other wall. Okay. Well, then we can just elevate this and have some water and lava touching over top. It'll be fine. So we can just kind of pretend for a minute that this is going to be... Oh man, I've got to think. I had... Right, so I had a storage drawer that would have been essentially here. So the way that this will work then... Sorry, I'm having to re-envision this. It's a little bit tricky, actually. So, we have 2 sources of water. That was a bad idea. I should have... You know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't we just barricade this area off with signs, since I've got them on me, and that's actually what they used to be good for anyways. we definitely want to get ourselves some cobblestone as well. No, not that. There we go. Cobblestone. Because we want to have 4 connections. So this design is one that I actually came up with completely by myself. I'm not really sure how that managed to happen. Normally I end up looking stuff up. But not this time, so I feel kind of good about that. Can I steal buckets straight from you? I cannot. Okay. There's a fluid placer there, though, which implies that there is fluid somewhere. Although perhaps not. Perhaps not. Nope, that's a conduit facade. There definitely is fluid there, and I just don't know how to get to it. Well, that's fine. Wait, I forgot. Yeah, there we go. So, and you know, I think I've got a lot of this dug up that does not need to be. So the way that this is going to work in the end is we're going to have 2 water sources and 2 lava sources. And if I go and get those 2 lava sources real quick, we should be good. And I should just have a tank. Seed oil. How much does seed oil mean to me? Yeah, not really that much. I'll let it pass. Because honestly, I just want some lava. And that too can get white. Who cares? So now we'll put lava in the opposite corners. We'll put lava there. We'll put lava there. We'll block off the lava. No need to burn me. So, we will also, in this, be able to get 3 more, not 4, but 3 more transfer nodes on top. Now, the reason it's not 4 is because if I did 4, then I would be losing one of the efficient connections that I have, because I basically just want to have all of these going into this guy, and then one of these coming out of this guy, coming right across, which is where we're going to have problems if I tried that. So, I don't know if we need these anymore. So, moving right along here, we can go on to our other compacting drawers here, which will involve Sorry, I'm just planning this out a little bit because I'd like this to look nice, but it's also going to be really hard to do that. Okay, what if I did one of these here? So it'll go straight into the front of you. We will have all of these guys coming together, which, by the way, I can do this to say don't connect there. And I also need to put, whoops, I needed those. I also need to put a few things away. So if I first grab my key, we can lock it. We can tell it to focus on cobblestone. So this is going to start making us double compressed and then later triple compressed cobble once we get to that point. Right now we aren't really making a lot of cobblestone, so we don't have to worry about it too much. So we have, let's see, that leaves us 4, perfect, and those 4 are going to come right down here. So let me go get the last of these speed upgrades, and I will be back in a little bit. So I'm still waiting for the last few to craft, but I figured we could at least go ahead and get these done. So, let's see. If I come over here, we can put in, I hope I'm not going to start locking up my grid. I am. So, funny story. I can't fly right now because I'm actually making too much, or using too much grid power. So I'm going to go expand our little grid power system, and I'll be back with that as well. I was going to go through and do something really convoluted, but then I remembered we have a dragon egg now. I'm gonna use it. I don't normally like to, but I'm in a position where I just need some freaking power. And I'm not really in the mood to kind of like derp around with it. So that gives us 500 grid power. If we end up coming up with a way of getting another dragon egg, which I don't think we have, but we'll see. I may come up with a way in one of my mods to do that. So if I do, or if we end up having that, then great. Otherwise, whatever. So let's go back to these. This will be the last of these. And my gold supply has probably plummeted. Actually, no, not that bad. We've only used about 400 gold. I say only, as though we're at a point now where it doesn't really even matter, and I'm happy about that. So we have 20 speed upgrades for 7 of these guys, so good, I did my math right. Now my question then is, this one guy is draining 30 grid power now, is that it? Power drain 10, power drain 30. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like exponential for some reason. So I forgot to put the transfer pipe in down here, but it'll go. And as soon as I do, if I put my 20 speed upgrades in all of these guys, what we're going to see is here soon, we're going to have a lot of cobble. So let me break this transfer node because this is not set up correctly. Fun fact, the way this is supposed to be set up, if we're getting double compressed out, then we want double compressed to go into the smallest slot, meaning that we'll get triple and then quadruple. So let's do that, lock it, and now we can grab a transfer node and slap on that. Now my question is this keeping up? Double compressed? Not really. Perhaps if I think I have a stack upgrade. That will help. That will definitely help. Empty? Empty. Good. That's all that matters, is that this one stays filled up. Because you notice this one, as soon as we get to this one, you can probably already see the pretty substantial downgrade in speed. Or rather, halt, I guess, in speed. The other thing is we want to be sure to have filters for these. So we're going to need 3 filters. Let me just come over here and grab those real quick. We want 3 of these. And they're all going to be set to different things that we may or may not have yet. So the first thing we want to, of course, filter is double compressed, because we only want to be pulling out double compressed from this drawer. Granted, I don't think we're making anything else fast enough, but if we were, we wouldn't want that to be what we end up getting. Now is it? Second thing is we want a similar story here with the quadruple compressed. Now fortunately, we already have quadruple compressed. That's actually pretty impressive. So with that, we can just grab one, whitelist it, put this here, and just say, hey, filter that, don't pull out anything else except for quadruple. Which means that when we come down to here, which is where I'm going to start, I guess I'm going to start storing stuff here, we can, let's see, I guess I'm trying to figure out right now what the best way of doing this is, because right now we're actually in a bit of a rut. You see, this isn't going to work because aesthetically it's not going to work. Physically it might, but aesthetically it won't. What if we had them over here then? So this will be behind walls now. And so what if we worked around, and I'm trying to remember, is it here? All right, yeah, so what if we did that? What if we went, why did all my transfer pipes get out of my hotbar? All right. So we can now transfer items into here. We are filtering quadruple compressed. So now if we put in quadruple compressed cobble, We should see quadruple there, quintuple, sextuple, which is great. We'll lock it. And then on the bottom, we can extract the last set, which quite frankly can do whatever they want once they get there, because fortunately for us, it's going to end up the right way anyways. So we don't have to worry about filtering it. We just need to leave it open and it'll be the right one in the end. So we'll just put that there and make sure that that isn't going to try to pull out other stuff, right? Oh, it is. Okay, so maybe we do need to do that. Okay, that's no big deal. We'll just wait, but then once we get to this point, we don't have to worry too much. So at this point, if we take a look, I'd rather that, honestly. I don't like having lava being held up by cables. It doesn't make sense. So, if we have this, in the end, that'll be hooked up, but it's not yet, but that's fine. So currently, we are sitting at 1 quadruple compressed. I think I have a few more. Yep, there we go. So there's 5. And if we just sit and wait, I think I did this right. So we should be, if we just sit here and watch Wayla, we have 7 currently, going up to 8. We should be getting another quadruple right about now. Quadruple 7. Cool. So that's actually pretty fast. You have to admit, you know, we're doing pretty well off here. So yeah, that gives us at least some cobblegen. I'm probably gonna have to sit here and wait and let this run off camera because at this point, this is gonna take forever. But we're all the way up to sextuple. After that, there's just septuple and octuple. So we'll have sextuple that'll go over here, and you know, kind of just finish up the hierarchy. And once we get a single octuple, we're good, because from there, the deep dark recipe is going to require 2 blocks of dark steel. We can do that. 2 blocks of terra steel. We can do that. And 4 irradiant reinforced plates. Easy peasy. So it's literally just the octuple compressed cobblestone that we're waiting on at this point. In the meantime, I guess I can go ahead and get the rest of that stuff, and we'll see how that goes. So let's start with, I guess, Britannia stuff. This will give us our mana diamonds and everything. So now we just need to start crafting away. Well, I ran out of mana, and I'm waiting for cobblestone, so what better thing to do with my time than sit here and work on the other recipes. So we have 1 recipe from IC2 as well, which is going to get us these iridium ingots. And we're going to need the iridium ingots to make ourselves one of these. So we're going to need plates. We're going to need about 32 iron plate. Also, did I never teach my system over here how to use this plate system? I guess not. I guess I got kind of excited but never really taught anything, did I? Ha! Oops. I should probably get around to that. There are faster ways of making plates than IC2, but that's okay. We'll make plates. It won't be a big deal. You see, they're already done, already almost done anyways. So, of course, we're going to need the iridium iron plates to make the reinforced plates. So we're going to need 16 advanced alloy and 16 carbon plate, which, as it happens, I actually already have a good bit of that, so that's nice. Well, and come to think of it, I think I'm using some of my iron plate on this advanced alloy. Oops. There we go. And now we can take these, and the recipe looked something like this. There we are. And so for that, we're going to need these, and I have almost everything. The only thing I am still missing is the Sunarium. Sunarium should not take that long to make us, or for us to make though. It's just some glowstone. So we can just grab that real quick and head downstairs, and this should probably take a laughably short amount of time considering we're getting a lot of power here. Yeah, this ain't gonna take any time at all, is it? Yep, that didn't take long at all. And ironically, that has been the first thing I've been able to finish crafting so far for this recipe. I'm out of mana for mana steel. I'm out of cobblestone for the compressed cobblestone. Oh, you know what? That's not true. I had dark steel. That was the first thing that I finished. I had that auto-crafted, like, out the gate. So, we're almost there. Like I said, this recipe is meant to be challenging. It's meant to kind of make you do most of the mods before you can just go to the Deep Dark. Notice how we still haven't been to the Deep Dark and we're in, like, episode 50-something, 60-something? Sorry, I'm terrible at keeping track of this kind of stuff. But still, notice how far we've gotten without going to the Deep Dark. It's because it's such a difficult process to get there, and I think it should be. I think the Deep Dark is honestly one of the more imbalanced places to be, dimensions to be in, and so as a result, I think it should be worth your time to get there, but I think it should take your time to get there. So all in all, I think that you know, we definitely have some good stuff here. So, I'm going to leave the world open overnight while I sleep because it is late and I've got a lot on my mind right now anyways with work and all, and school. I'm gonna leave this open. It might be a day until I can log back in and play again, or rather, play again, but I'll stay logged in. And as a result, we should get cobblestone, we should get mana, and I should be able to come back and everything will be ready to go again. So, I shall return, but for you guys, it will be in just seconds. So, that took a very long time. In fact, that's part of what the delay was in getting this out today. This episode has been basically waiting on this octuple compressed cobblestone. But it's done. Here we have it. And so now, let's get it. So, oh, yeah, I suppose I should probably go to a real crafting station, shouldn't I? So if we take a look at the Deep Dark portal. Boom. Deep Dark portal, done. We can get ourselves a chest of the ender variety. In fact, why don't we get 2 chests? Why don't we get 2 ender chests, and that way we can have a entirely separated channel for all of our specific well, you know, all of our specific ore processing stuff, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in. So we can just do I guess we can do, like, I don't know, gray, black, gray or something. Since it will be in the Deep Dark after all. So we're going to need a few things before we go to the Deep Dark with a quarry. First of all, we need a quarry. So we need to get a builder, which I already have. We should also have a quarry card, which is not going to be that bad to make. So we need a shape card. From that, we need a diamond pickaxe, a diamond shovel, the card itself, and then I'm going to be making mine into a fortune quarry because that's how I roll. Fortune is going to be a great friend of ours. So this will give us fortune on a quarry. And we need to have some form of getting power there, so probably a power cell. And we are, you know, I didn't even think to check. Do I have... Ah, yeah, that's right. This is what I used to clear out the chasm. I can't believe I forgot that. So we have a power cell. We will also need a chunk loader because it's not going to stay loaded if we don't grab one. And now, I think we should be good to go. We just need to run over to the Deep Dark and handle it. Oh, you know what else I want to do? I want to get a matter... let me get another power cell. Because I want to get a... Oh. Suddenly I have 2 of those now. Oh well. Because I want to get a matter receiver. That way we can have... oh. Let me get a capacitor. That way we can have at least a little bit of something over there for easy access back and forth. So let's see. Receiver. Matter receiver. Perfect. And now we just need to have an import bus, or an importer rather. And do I have any speed upgrades? I should get a speed upgrade and a stack upgrade. So the stack upgrade I think is just 4 speed upgrades, isn't it? Stack upgrade, yeah, 4 speed upgrades. So let's get 7 of these speed upgrades. There we go. And now we can grab these and make a stack upgrade. And then we'll have our 3 speed upgrades left for our import bus, or importer, rather. Forget that this is an AE. And now all we have to do is this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break down our old setup that we had here for the quantum quarry. So what I'm probably gonna do is use it as our control center for the power cell that we put in here. So we will have, I guess we do need that 3rd power cell after all, don't we? Let me get that real quick, and we'll get another power cell link card. Perfect. So the way this will work then, what we can do is this. I still like this setup. I thought this was a good setup, and I still do, because it means that we're getting exactly the amount of RF per tick that we want. So what I may do is keep the redstone part of this hooked up still, which means that I tore that down for nothing, but that's okay. So we have that. Oh, that's not good. Let's hurry then. Get out of my way. All these cables in my way. Get the importer on there as quick as possible. There we go. So we can tell the importer, you know, stack and speed upgrades for that. And so now, anytime we should get anything in the system, it'll have its own chest, so it won't be filling up the one chest that we have here for main sorting, because it's already getting a lot of stuff anyways, so we don't really want to, like, you know, add too much. Here's what we can do. We can go to the deep dark, but then as soon as we get there, I'm going to change some stuff around, because I don't really like the portal system in the deep dark. So that's what the entire goal of the matter receiver is. Let me get one of these and then replace it. Beautiful. So I can't break this, which is fine, but what I can do is come over here and make our own little room. So we'll put down our power cell with our ID 2 here, giving us power in output mode. We'll have a matter receiver here, and we'll call it deep dark. And now I can very quickly add this to the charged porter, and we don't have to worry about it. Okay, there we go. You know a chasm is deep when I can't even put down any lighting. There we go. This is never a fun process, but it's always worth it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and handle it, and I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so I have a fortune quarry shape box, 1024 by 1024 blocks. Right now it's covering a huge area, but that's okay. It doesn't have to load, I don't have to load that whole area, just this specific area. And now if I slap my chest on top and we fire it off and let it go, we're gonna start getting resources, and I hope we can handle them at a reasonable rate. It seems like we should be just fine. Now, one thing that I want to do real quick that I completely forgot about is I should grab a filter so that we don't end up getting all sorts of extra crap that we don't need. Alright, so I actually had a filter set up on a whitelist for when I had cleared out the cylinder that is now the chasm. And as it happens, if I reverse it to a blacklist, that's pretty much exactly what I want, short of smooth stone. And actually, come to think of it, I maybe do want smooth stone, so let me get some of that too. I think we should be good. So if I put this in here and we tell it to run, you see now I'm only getting these few specific resources. I think between fortune and the fact that it's a deep dark mining area, that should definitely do us. So I think for this episode we're gonna call it a wrap, because it has been quite productive between all that cobblestone generation, and now we have a proper quarry that should be getting us stuff like shiny, or rather platinum. You know, with some platinum ore hopefully coming in soon, we can start to automate the rest of our fluids and such for enderium and other like recipes. So I will end it there and see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.